Hey everybody, I thought I would do Marc's tag first. He's made 2 of them. Kind of a bad day so far today. My mother has been sick for the past 2 days, throwing up and in bed. And she's finally been taken to the emergency room. I've been waiting to hear what's going on. Question 1 of Marc's move tag. Name a actor or actress in a bit part who stole the show. I will go with Butterfly McQueen and Gone with the Wind as Prissy. Question 2. Which role in a film would you rather play? I will go with the last one, the first person to die in a horror film, only because I think a lot of interesting deaths were the first deaths. You know, like Janet Leigh in Psycho, or Drew Barrymore in Scream. Yeah, so I'll take that option. Just to name an actor or actress famous for comedy that made a big splash in a serious role, I thought of Mary Tyler Moore in Ordinary People. I also thought of Carol Burnett in, what was it, The Four Seasons? Or one of those. She made several serious ones there. And I also thought of Peter Sellers in Being There. His last question, oh, girl must be going to pee on the geranium. The last question I remember, without having to look, was Bette Davis or Joan Crawford. I've always been a Bette Davis fan, but I do prefer Bette Davis over Joan Crawford. But there are some Joan Crawford movies that I really kind of enjoy, and they're both kind of campy. Not her best years. When she, around the Hush Hush Sweet Charlotte years, when, whatever happened to Baby Jane years, she made a couple of those really stinker B horror films. One of them is Straight Jacket, in which she plays this really campy, by the way, here's my bonsai. She plays this really campy, sleazy woman who's an axe murderess. And there's another one, I Know What You Did, or I Saw What You Did, and I Know Who You Are, something like that. Really kind of silly movies, but enjoyable. So I don't dislike her, Joan Crawford, but I do prefer Bette Davis. Okay, what was the other one? Favorite cult movie. The first one that came to mind when I thought of cult movie, I'm not too familiar with cult movies, or know which one is a cult movie and which isn't. The first one that came to mind was Rocky Horror Picture Show, and of course Marc already mentioned that. I think I might go with Night of the Living Dead, the original one. That's the only other movie that I really can think of that might be considered a cult movie, which was pretty damn good for the time. The music, oh, it was just so... I remember watching that on TV would creep me out, especially the part in the cemetery at the beginning where the zombie in the cemetery is trying to get in the car at the neurotic blonde woman. My brother used to shut me up in the car and then pound on the windows to scare the crap out of me because he knew I was scared of that scene. Okay, that's the end of that tag. I'll have to go to the other tag now. Yes, Marc has made 2. Okay, I just read through the other questions. Let's see if I can remember them all to the end of the tag. A truck full of lepers arrives at your house. Would you let them spend the night? I have to say, I probably would, because as Mark phrases it, you live out rural areas somewhere, there's nowhere else for them to go, so how could you refuse? But I would want to burn my entire house down and the contents and buy everything new the next day. Another question is, question one, I would take the first option. I think I would not take the genie's offer of a short life but wonderful one, or 500 years and horrible. I would take the first option. I better get that because that might be about my mom. That was not about my mom. I would take the first option, which I would allow my life to continue as its own natural course. And then the last question is something about, would you like to live your life loving everyone but being scorned by them, or scorning everyone and being loved by them? I think I would rather love them and be scorned. I mean, that's pretty much the way I'm living right now. So that goes with the previous question. That would just be continuing my life as it is. Okay, those are Mark's tags. Thanks for the tag. Now I'll continue on and try and do Jasmine's tag. Birdie is molting, by the way. That's why she looks a little peaked. Plus, she's afraid of the camera because the flash has gone off on her. So she knows it makes a big flashing light, blinding flash every once in a while. So anyway, onward.